What is all these groups' policy towards Arabs? Now, the first group are the nationalists. Who are they? The reformists. What kind of person is it? This intellectually, it's not fully coherent, but it's the most practical. Yes, the Torah is from God, but we're not going to do it all. We're going to use our brain and our gut here and do what we can of it. And this is the nationalist group, and they run 60%. And they believe in Judaism. They believe in the Torah, but they're just not going to do it all. Okay? Honestly, that's like a lot of Muslims today. They're like, yes, Islam, yes, it's all wonderful. We're all down. I believe in it, but certain things I just can't do. I'm just not doing it. I can't do it. And that's totally haram for us to do. Now, they believe in domination. It should be a one-state solution, but Jews should have more rights than Arabs. These are pretty much very close to, if not apartheid. And that's your Benjamin Netanyahu types. All right. Now, right underneath them and pushing and stealing from their base, 20% of the political offices in Israel are now, this is the scary part. This is where I'm telling you, this is the cancer. If this group keeps growing, you will have religious war. This is the group that stops peace. This is the group that shot up Baruch Goldstein, shot up Khalil, the Muslims praying Fajr. This is the group of settlers. This is the group of crazies, okay, who they read the text. It doesn't settle with their gut, but they override their gut. And this is the supremacists. And these are they believe in a one-state solution too, but not with Arabs limited. No, Arabs eliminated. Okay. And as we're going to get, who is their godfather? Who is the popularizer of this group? He's actually an American-based, and he died. Of course, he was killed. And that's who we're going to get to, Rabbi Meir Kahane. We're going to get to that in a second. Okay. We're going to get to him in a second. Rabbi Meir Kahane. He's the guy they all go back to. He's the guy, all right, who wrote his basically Hitler-like manifesto, They Must Go. He went to jail, just like, I think Hitler was in jail when he wrote Mein Kampf, right? This guy went to jail. The Jews themselves put him in jail. They couldn't handle him because most of the Jews were of that reformist Jewish, but let's be practical here. Let's be sane here, all right? They shut him up. They put him in jail. He was an extremist in the 80s. He went to jail. He wrote a book called They Must Go. The title tells you everything you need to know. So this group is 20%, and they hold their one-state solution: eliminate the Arabs all together, with their kids, with their wives, with their sheep, with their shepherd dogs if they have any, with their everything. Kill them all. And I'm going to show you examples of this, and I'm going to show you where the books that they get this from, and I'm going to show you the biblical verses they get this from, and I'm going to show you the chief rabbi supported this and his lineage of scholars after him. Like a football coach has a tree, shiyuch also have trees. The next group are very minimal. These are the Jews that we can talk to, but we can talk to, it's only on the surface level because they're complete secularists. And that first group says, let's do our Israel in a nice way. Two-state solution. Let the Arabs have their own state. We'll do our Judaism nice and peacefully. This type of person is we can talk to this person because he is religious, but he's also sane and he's kind. And he says, let the Arabs have their own state and let us have our own state. And they're the most marginal. They're only 5%, right? And then there's another group, and that's, they have 10% of the vote. Okay. And they believe in also one state, but they're full-on liberals. These are the Tel Aviv gays. These are the nightclub types. They say one state, just like America, fully democratic state. Okay. Fully democratic state. Okay. Full-on reform. Forget all this Torah stuff. We're here. Let's just have a full-on democratic state with everyone treated equally. Okay. And they only get like 10%. So the bottom two are only locking up about 20%, 15, 20% of the vote. Just to tell you where everyone's thinking. The top, that's your Jon Stewart type. Thank you. Chocolate Wallace says that's the Jon Stewart. As I said earlier, the New York, Hollywood, and Tel Aviv Jews. All right. they're filming on the Sabbath. They don't do any Sabbath. They eat pork. They drink. Well, I think even Orthodox can drink, but they got nothing. All right. Now let's go now to read to Rabbi Meir Kahane. This is the guy who really launched it all. And what is his deal? He wrote a book called They Must Go. Meir Kahane, this is the guy that you got to be aware of. His lineage of followers in any other sane society would have been put off the side. Your guys are extreme. You're radical. We need to put you in a closet somewhere, lock the door, make sure you never come out. Okay? But no, let me tell you about him first. In the beginning, the nationalist Israelis, the regular, Jewish person who wants to get along in society, called this person a criminal racist and his people Kahanazis. His radicals on the other side, he said he's a visionary. His radical supporters, he's a visionary hero of the Jewish people. This guy is a Brooklynite. He's a New Yorker. This is an American-made guy. His dad was a rabbi, Charles Kahane. As a teenager, he became militant, and he went to NYU, this guy. And then he went to Mir Yeshiva in Brooklyn. He got ordained as a rabbi. And then he started to teach in the 60s. And then he started to give rallies, to talk and give speeches and give rallies. He is the founder of the JDL. So when you hear the word JDL, you got to connect it to Rabbi Meir Kahane. Listen to what he's going to say. He says here that the Jew is weak and vulnerable, and we will change it to one who is a mighty fighter who strikes back fiercely against tyrants. He is the one who exacerbated black and Jewish tensions in New York City. And he says every Jew, a 22, meaning no more pacifism. You have to have 22. It's a gun, right? You have to have one. So he's a type of Orthodox person that says, this is the book. We got to act upon this. People have to die. Blood must be spilt. His actions were deemed criminal. What is his first crime that he committed? He got arrested for plotting to bomb the Dome of the Rock. And he said, this will end all peace treaties with the Arabs, and it will incite a full-on war with the Arabs in which we'll decimate them all. And he was found guilty of that. His family moved to Israel in 1971. He founded a military anti-Arab Kash political party. The party's platform called for the annexation of all conquered territories. No Gaza, no West Bank. Forcible removal of all Palestinians. And he was jailed on several occasions. He was the first Jew in Israel to be accused of sedition. Kahane ran for Knesset and lost in 76 and 80, but won in 84. And his movement continued to grow. All right. The Koch party was banned from running, all right, by the Labor Likud coalition. All right. What's going to happen in the future? All these followers of this crazy man here are going to become sort of whitewashed, cleaned up. They will join the Likud. They will go to law school. They will become governors. They are very powerful. They're very powerful in the world today. Okay. In Israel. And the more powerful this group gets, you can bank on it, there's going to be religious war. That's what they're inciting. He made it to the Knesset. They then banned his party completely, saying that the whole platform incites racism and war. 2 years later, 1990, he was assassinated. But his message was, they must go. They called it a magnum opus. It's compared by liberal Jews to Mein Kampf. He also founded the Yeshiva of the Jewish Idea, a seminary there in Jerusalem. And until today, it promotes his ideas that the Arabs must be killed. They have to be killed. They have to be forcibly removed. And he says that is the only way for Israel to survive. If you want to understand where the settler, the biggest force behind all the sort of violence that's going on, you must understand Rabbi Meir Kahane. Kahane's followers. Now let's see, what did Kahane's do? This is not just words. They have murdered dozens of people. They have injured hundreds, and they have numerous violent attacks. Who was his followers? Baruch Goldstein. Baruch Goldstein went to the masjid in Khalil, and he shot up, he's a Brooklyn Jew, 46 Muslims while praying Fajr. A elected official in our world that we live in, an elected official today in Israel, is quoted as calling him the sweetest Jew that I have ever met. Baruch Goldstein.